G'day Hubs. We have something really exciting to share with you, which is Resi Stage 2. We're super stoked about these units. They're going to make it a lot more reliable to do streaming out at Hubs. It's going to make it a lot easier for you guys on the ground as well, and no skipping through links on YouTube or anything like that. So we've put together these Resi boxes here. I'm going to show you how to set them up, how we're going to run it on a Sunday. So all you need to do when you turn up, take these packer boxes out of your storage area and they just unclip from the front, like so. And then what you get is our Resi decoder and our pull-out tray here. In between, you have a network connector as well. When you open the back of the unit, you're going to have two separate looms. One loom is going to have these cables here, which include power for the Resi unit, a left and right XLR for audio, so that'll run to the desk, an Ethernet, which will also run to the desk, two HDMIs, one for Pro Presenter, which is labeled, which will go into your normal laptop, and one for the projector, which will obviously go to your output to the projector. Now the other loom on the back here, hiding behind this monitor a bit, is power and a HDMI for the monitor. So we'll be sending these monitors out to you as well, and what they are for is for monitoring what's happening on the Resi decoder here. So we'll just get that booted up now. Alright, so that monitor is all set up now. What I'm going to do is get the power for the decoder, plugging that into whatever's available. Then we can start running HDMIs. It really doesn't matter what order the rest of this process happens in. As long as you get that power to that unit first, you'll be alright. So the projector's going to run over here. For the sake of this demo, it's running into this screen. Rightio, so all the cables for the displays and the Resi unit are hooked up now. And what you'll be left over with is those stereo XLRs and that Ethernet cable, which will all run into your TF console. So any input that your audio engineer prefers, they can just go straight into the back and they're good to go. Now, important to get network up and running is your existing modem that you have out at Hubs. So what you're going to do is you're just going to hook that Ethernet from the back of the modem into the front of the unit here. Now, it doesn't matter which port it goes in on, just an available one that's there. Now that's booting up there, so we'll let that do its thing. Now I'm going to boot on the Prism decoder. So all you need to do to boot on the Resi decoder, just press that one button on the front, a little blue light will come on, it'll make some nice little beeps for you, and the fan will whir up, so you know it's starting up. It will take a couple minutes to start up. It's a bit slower than your average computer, but once it all sets up, you will see that on the screen there. I'll just run you through what's on our pull-out tray here. So on our pull-out tray, we have a trackpad, we have an ATEM mini switcher, and a keyboard. Now, the keyboard you won't have to use a lot, just if you need to re-enter that password on the Resi decoder. The ATEM mini switcher, we got these so that you can switch between your Pro Presenter input from your lyrics to the stream. Now those are both on 1 and 2. So 1 is your Pro Presenter input, 2 is your Resi decoder input. Now it'll come up to a login screen, we've saved the password, so it should be there, but it's your standard hub password, so Sandgate #21 or Sanford #21. In the username, we've got Sandgate space hub space decoder or Sanford space hub space decoder. Again, they'll be auto-filled, but if for some reason that erases, you've always got us on Slack or this video here to reference for. Once that's all booted up, you're good to press sign in. And that'll bring you to your Resi decoder main page here. So what that's going to start on is your events. We have made a specific event called multi-site Sunday service. So what you're going to do when you boot up on a Sunday, this will be live. You'll click on that and go select event. Now it'll come up with a warning and it'll say, do you want to clear the local disk cache? And just say clear. And that will put you into that multi-site Sunday service. So this is the one from the weekend just past. It's just loading up now. There we go. So that's put us right at the start of the service when our Resi encoder started encoding. Now, us as service producers at Everton Park, we also have a Resi decoder set up right at the service producer station there. What that will allow us to do is set preach queues for you guys out at hubs. So to see that, once you've selected your event, you're going to move down into the queues menu. In the queues menu, a queue will pop up with something similar to preach start or minute to mingle start or something like that, so that you guys can find where we're at. What you're going to press on there is go to. That'll take a moment, but that'll take you right to where that preach start is. Now, all you're going to have to do when you're transitioning, as you can see, we're running Pro Presenter Lyrics on the projector here. All you're going to have to do is switch those inputs as you press play. So I'm hovering my finger over the 2 on the A10 Mini and the play button on that preach. All I'm going to do is press those at the same time. That'll fade in and your preach is on the screen ready to go. So it's a much smoother way for us to get going. There's less lag time and it's good to go as soon as you press that button. And you guys are streaming from Everton Park. Now the benefit of having the Resi decoders is that it actually allows us to have a buffered time. Now the buffered time is a certain allotted amount of time for which the stream is stored locally on that decoder. So we've set ours to 15 minutes and you can see that slowly starting to climb here. So the benefit of having that is that if you lose internet connection out at Sanford, out at Sandgate, that won't cut out the stream. So I'll demonstrate that now. If I was to just unplug the router like so, that stream's going to continue going. What you will get is a notification in the bar here, which tells you the internet has been disconnected. So internet connection's up, but there's a few errors in downloading, and eventually it'll say your internet connection is no longer available. What we still have is 12 minutes of lead time that's locally downloaded to work through. So this is a really big benefit of having these decoders on site. It'll annihilate any of those potential issues with Wi-Fi. Obviously, when you get back to the preach or you're doing worship to close, you can clear your Pro Presenter to a black screen and you can just switch back like so. Really easy to use. It's just on one button. You can also adjust if you want to cut, if you want to fade. Fading is probably the way we're going to go for now, just to make that transition nice and smooth. Now we'll just run through shutdown procedures because that is kind of important with something like the decoder here. You don't want it to run into any issues on the shutdown. So all you're going to do, go up to the account in the top right corner, click it and go shutdown. And confirm the shutdown and good to shut down. So that will start shutting down. Wait for that to totally finish and wait for this light to switch off before you unplug the unit. That's about as difficult as a Resi decoder needs to be. If you have any questions, chuck them in the Slack thread below, or of course on the day, we'll always have a direct line to me or Andy or whoever's service producing if you need help with those sort of things. Now, see you guys soon. We'll be out at hubs to visit and check that these are deployed and to help you guys with any questions.